All right, so for GBP AUD, based off of the longer time frames, I mean, she faked out of the previous high, which was 188.6 around there, and I guess when the market opened, it gapped up, failed to break it, and now is retracing. I would love, if this is gonna continue downwards, we need to see it break this zone that it broke out of on the opening. We would have to see a breakout, retest, and then continuation. I can't see further upside for the time being. Yeah, we're recording. Let's see what our week looks like. Tomorrow's a bank holiday. It makes sense as to if we get some strength on the AUD, we could definitely see GBP AUD shrink. We got a 12:30 on Tuesday, orange folder. And on Friday, we got some red folders on Friday, the GDP. We're curious to see if that's what's going to lead up to the market coming down as much as it can. Let's see what GU looks like also. Yeah, when I was telling you about the channel earlier, Luke, this is what I was looking at right here. I did it yesterday. Yeah, so we had the 4 touches here. Market came back, retested this key support area right here. Tells me there's like a little zone around here we got to pay attention to.
You should switch off the Onanda. You should get GU with FXCM.
Yeah, that's what I was. That's what I always use. I just had drawn this out with the Spanish students. I want to see when that sell you were looking at catching. If you can catch it from where it's at now to the break, 30. It's about 110 pips. Just keep in mind if the market, when I said if it retests, just keep in mind it doesn't bounce off the high of the touch of the trend right here and continues going up to target this previous high up here. Let's see. Yeah. So similar right here. It missed our zone by a few pips. Yeah, about 10 pips it missed it by. So I'm curious to see if it's going to come back down to retest the previous high up here and then make a move up. I mean, it did exhaust this upward movement in a sense because there was a inverted right here. It bounced off this support right here, faked out, came back, retested, and shot up. One of the scenarios I was looking at over the weekend from that I would like to see GBP do is if it does break back into the zone, it kind of gives us what we've been looking for. Just the issue was when the market was going down, we needed the market to retest this price area here for continuation downwards. Right around where the zone is, where the initial breakout to the upside occurred. When I was paying attention to this here, this is when GBP USD and all other GBP pairs just kind of they found strength. They found some strength from that US news that came out. What was it on
FOMC?
Yeah, the FOMC. They gained some strength and then they came back down on non-farm payroll and then shot up. I would love to see it come down. If it doesn't make its initial push to the upside anytime soon, I'd love to see it try to come back and break that zone.
It's not. It looks like it's gonna come test first. So everything is turning, down to the downside right now. So I think it's gonna be downside for the Asian session, and
That's
I think
exactly
London is gonna be.
what I'm thinking. Another thing too, if you look left based off of what price we're off that price we're looking for it to bounce off of. Huge psychological zone right here. The market always comes to either retest that area. It either comes to retest that price point. That's why where the price is at right now is very interesting. My question moving forward is, before I even make a decision on entering any trade, is if the retest does happen based off this previous high, does that give us the confirmation we need to ride it up on a buy? Similar here with GBP AUD. If it doesn't break back into the zone, all of it ties into what the strength of GBP leads up to. Tomorrow's Monday, with the bank holiday on Monday. We could definitely see it come down. I would love GBP USD to come try to retest any of these two zones here. This is a minor zone from the 1 hour chart. If we can get it to bounce off of the 1.306 price, that'll give us a nice entry towards the upside. With obviously the first take profit being the 3100. So 40 pip first take profit, and second take profit 31,847. So that'll be a nice trade to look at. I'm gonna set an alert to see if price reaches here.
Yeah, that's what I did too. I want to see it come to this price for sure.
That'll be a nice buy entry. Let's see what other pairs we're looking at. Gold. Gold is still looking like she's trying to creep back up to that 1,300 price point. The only thing that has me a little worried about gold is the fact that she is retesting the breakout of that distribution zone here. So failure to create a higher high after it has to break past 1287 in order for us to see continuation to the upside. But if not, we might be shorting it.
I don't like gold short. I like gold long because of the fear that Trump is creating in the stock market. So the hard asset is for gold. So the value is going to be there because people are going to move their money.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense with the fundamentals. What prices are you paying attention with gold? And is anyone?
Well, I already have buys. I went in at 1282. I'm already up. So I'm trying to get at somewhere what 12, at least 1296.
Yeah, 1296 is good. That high up there.
So I'm looking at GCAD because GCAD has an hour left on the 4-hour candle and it's engulfing, it's bearish engulfing. I want to hit that again. And GU, we already talked about that. I like that zone to retest and then take that trade too.
Yeah. I had someone text me saying, "What if we sell?" The thing is that had we were looking for sales, we would have been looking at we should have caught it further up than where it's at now because it can retrace at any moment. For those of you looking at sales, let's see who else just texted me. GCAD, yeah, GCAD looks good, man. Just like GBP AUD. She failed to bounce off that high.
Right, and right now the stop is like 90 pips. I mean, I might go in on another 0.50. I don't think they'll go to that high again.
It just cleared the gap. So let's see. There goes US 30.
And that stop I said is from the highs from way back, but today's high is they're 30 pips away, so it's actually a pretty good trade. But I want the 4-hour to close the way it is right now. It's
That
beautiful.
one entry you caught was a nice entry right here.
Yeah, yeah. I was at the top.
771.
177.
If she is trying to come back up, I would keep in mind this price right here, 7770 around there.
Yeah. For a retest?
Yeah, but I don't think she's gonna make a move. Did that previous candle right there, that last 15-minute candle tried to engulf the previous candle. The only signal showing a potential here is the fact that it's at it tweezer bottomed here.
Damn, you just kind of changed my plans. And now I might hold off and wait for London to see where it's at.
Yeah, because she just filled the gap. You see how it filled the gap right here?
Yeah.
It filled the gap right around right here. This is the previous candle. The candle opened up, kept going up, failed to break the zone up here, and then dropped.
That's why I closed my trade because I saw they hit the gap. I said, I'm up. I don't see them pushing further. It's Asia right now, so I'm out of here.
Yeah, I think that was a good idea. Plus, you banked quick $200, man. That's good money right there.
231.
Let's see. You said you were trying to buy the 76. What, 3?
Fuck.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Let's see where we're at in our phase. That'll be a nice trade if it sets up that way. If it fails to bounce off to 23.6, which is the support area right here, makes sense why I would tell you to wait. It's a nice demand zone it's at. Just off the 1 minute. It looked like she's trying to make her push up, but it would have to, based off of like just general market structure, we would need to see a break and a retest at this price here. So we would need to see it break it and retest it. Giving us a buy around here. Let's see how these next few candles play out. How many minutes we had till 12 o'clock hits?
120, 1 minute 20 seconds.
Let's see how it plays out. Let's see. USD JPY. She tagged it. US 30 just double bottom now. On the 1 minute. Yeah, UJ respected this crap out of our 10-300 zone. Now is making her way back up. Curious if she's going to try to come and fill this gap at 1100. We got about 50 pips.
I definitely see that happening with today's news.
Yeah, she respected that zone. Lovely, man.
Yeah, she did. That's crazy right there.
I wasn't expecting her to hit. I was expecting more. I don't know if you remember when I was in Florida, I kept saying 10.55.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Yeah, look, she respected it, broke below it, and now kept going, and now she's reversing. So I think now we're in the clear for buys to 112. I want to see how it plays out. But this has a lot to do how the U.S. stock market performs because USD JPY is heavily tied to the 10-year bonds. That's gonna be a nice trade, I think. Anybody want me to check out a specific currency? GJ, you were saying. I heard you mention GJ.
Yeah, GJ.
I'm gonna have to take this L on this trade right here. Look, GJ respected our zone and gapped down. Let's see. Yeah, she created that beautiful inverted right there. AJ and gold. Let's just pull up ADJPY. So I have to delete this and do this over. I don't know, man. I'm feeling like JPY is gonna try to come back and retest these spikes from that flash crash not too long ago. Starting to make me feel that way.
They got two.
Like that. That's definitely a low. AJ on the weekly definitely looks like she's about to tank down. She's respecting our zone here, definitely trying to come back and regain. I could definitely see all these pairs close the gap and then make its move down. Again, if it is going to continue going up based off of just general market structure, we would need a retest of the last previous lowest high point. Market has to break, retest, and then potentially make it move up. You're looking for sells on AJ, right, Jomar?
Everybody's muted.
Maybe one sells. Buys, yep. AJ buys, yeah. So we would need it to break 78.11 around there. So we need to break that price and retest it. Doing so should finish this accumulation phase that she's in right here. My concern with AJ overall is just the fact that we have not had some higher highs in a while. Everything's been, look at this clean as inverted. And it's head and shoulders here before that massive shit down. See how the 15-minute is playing out. Needs to break above this zone here in order to avoid a continuation to the downside. From where it's at now to that's 83 pips. It's a gamble to buy that gap right now. Are you looking at Finviz? Anyone? The JPY is the strongest right now. Everything is weak. Even GBP. AD is weak. What happened? Wasn't she the strongest currency last week? GBP AUD dropping like we wanted. GU is just breaking into our zone here. You see this? Yeah, I don't see it coming back up right now. She broke our important area right here. Could see The only reason why I wouldn't call GU sells just yet, I don't like the fact that the retest of this zone is right above this important demand zone that she's just breaking into right now. So I would feel much more comfortable waiting for it to break it and retest it to confirm that price. Honestly, that's honestly what I would feel here, to seek that continuation towards the downside. That way we don't have all of this as risk, and if it does break it, we just have the zone of like 20, 25 pips of a risk area compared to the reward. When I was calling out the gold trade last week, my initial take profit was 1,300. The only reason why I cut it short at 77 and 79 was because of the fact that I wasn't too sure if the price was going to break this resistance area right here. It's on the 15-minute chart, there's an important zone right around here. When we go to it, we can see I was looking for the market to break it and retest it. And when it broke out and it started coming down, I wasn't expecting it to cleanly retest and shoot up, which happened to be what turned out to be the situation in this case. So we now have more room for upsides. I know you were buying it too, Lucho, right?
Yeah.
We got this inverted head and shoulders clean right here on the 15 minutes. She has about, what's this? 366 pips left. No, yeah, 366 to the upside to finish that move to 1287, which matches what you want. If it does break that, then we have another high of 1288.7 around there. If you're holding your gold buys still, what I would suggest you do is just keep following up your entry with a stop loss in profit. So like if we caught this entry right here as it started going up, every time it breaks a previous high, I would adjust your stop loss to the previous high before that. So what I mean by that is if you entered here, say you would have entered here, and this was your take profit, every time your trade goes in profit, just go ahead and adjust that stop loss to the previous high every time it breaks it. So that was a bad idea. Here's the first high. This was your entry. Once the market breaks that high, then you just go ahead and identify the previous high. What was the previous high? This was the previous high right here. So as the market shot up, it never came back to retest that previous high. So then as the market broke this high up here, then your job is to adjust your stop loss to the previous high. Like that, you protect yourself on your entries, and like that, you're not stuck with, if the market does reverse on you, you were up, let's say 100, 200 pips, and now you're closing the trade 40 pips negative. This is a good exercise for you guys to practice. I'm a big believer in always securing yourself and your profits, especially for most of you guys starting to build your accounts. For someone else that's looking to hit a daily goal, definitely a good practice to continue practicing, because at the end, what's going to help you thrive in this market, especially for a lot of you guys that are beginning, is, I'm a big believer in it. Some don't, but always reward yourself. Reward yourself. You made $50 in the market and those $50 were stressful. Take it out. Go do your nails. Go have some lunch, some dinner or something, and treat yourself to it. Because this is what we're putting in this time for. We're not just trying to have a competition here of who can build the highest balance to then blow it. I noticed a lot of people, they gain momentum in their trading, and then greed comes in the way, I say this once and I say it all the time. I also consider greed, you not rewarding yourself. If you're putting in 5-6 hours a day practicing on your charts and you make $200-$300 for the first time, listen, as opposed to you keeping it in your account and you risking it and blowing it, understand? Take some of it out, enjoy it. Enjoy what it feels like to actually make money in the markets and live with it. Pay a bill, do something with it. I'm a very, very big believer in that. You said gold, right? Yeah, gold. Yeah, gold. I'm liking it towards the upside. We are approaching the fourth touch of this trend here. We have one right here. We have a second touch and a third touch right here. So anything approaching the zone here, keep a good eye out for it. If it breaks it, always remember for continuation. Let's see, Glory and Janelle. When the market breaks a downtrend, what price point or price area are we looking for the market to retest for it to continue going towards that opposite direction? Let's see, Janelle, just unmuted you, or Glory, whoever unmutes themselves first. The next, yep. Remember, not the higher high, the lower high. So we have lower highs here. So as the market breaks the previous lowest high point, one of the key things I want you to always remember is pay attention to the previous trend of the market, right? If the market respects that trend and we have the price break out and retest the previous lowest high point of that downtrend, right? Once we have price break that trend line, that previous trend, and also respect the last lowest high point, then we can expect the market to continue going up. So one of the strategies I like to use when trading in this sense, if I'm going off of the market structure, if I entered my trade on the retest of the last lowest high point, then my first take profit would be from the last lowest high point to the previous one before, to the previous one after that. So if you would enter this trade on the retest of the last lowest high point to the second touch of the trend, which was the lowest high before that, you would have made 157 pips. After that, you can either make the decision to go to the previous high after that, or hold your trade to the last low, the first lowest high point of that trend, which gives you close to almost 1,000 pips. So, on a trade like gold, obviously you always want to manage your risk. Always want to keep an eye out for what lot size you may want to enter in this trade at. On a pair like this, for most of you guys trading with, like a $500 account, I really wouldn't want to risk so much of it just trying to build my account unless you assess your risk. For instance, we talk a lot about risk assessment and, how to identify zones where the market, would have the lowest probability of drawdown. One of the things I always keep in mind is the fact that, let's say we pay attention to this low right here. And if I go ahead and just gonna adjust this zone that I have right here to the previous low here. Since I always look for my trades on the 15-minute chart, one of the things I'm gonna keep in mind is the last time the market hit our demand zone right here, she shot up, came back and retested, but she didn't retest this support area right here that we have drawn out, this red line, right? So then the market came back down, retested that demand area again, shot up, and on that retest of that support right there, which was, for most of you guys who have watched the videos or taken the personal mentorship with me, and we went over the Wyckoff, this right here is the retest of the accumulation in price. So when price accumulated here, she shot up and broke out. We never had a clean retest of the bottom of this this zone here we have drawn out. So when I identify a price like that, let's say I look at the 1 minute chart, I could have entered this trade on a higher lot size than usual and never seen drawdown. Never would have seen drawdown in this case. The market shot up, broke out, retest, kept going, retested every price point, and kept going up. The main reason, like I said, when I selected 1277 as my first take profit, you know, when you look left, that was just the previous high of this before the market broke down to the downside. So, you know, gold is definitely looking good. I'm going to be keeping my eye out on gold. But let me know if you guys have any questions in regards to that. I know a lot of people always ask me about risk assessment. You know, how should I know what lot size I should go on? You know, we have some people who use a higher lot size in areas that they shouldn't be entering a high lot size or shouldn't even be entering the trade at all. And you know, I want you guys practicing this because anybody can tell you, you know, once you have an optimal entry, like if we would have held this entry from Thursday, I called out the trade till now, you know, we would have been in profit an additional 800 pips on top of where we took profit at. So, you know, a trade that we enter a position at that price right there, you know, those are trades that if you are interested in holding a trade for the long term, you know, based off the structure of a higher time frame, you know, for most of you guys who like candlestick patterns, we had a nice, you know, double bottom here, nice reversal formation on an important zone. You know, we have the pin bars printing here. We had a pin bar. We had a bullish engulfing candle after the market failed to break out of this zone here. You know, there was a lot of confluence moving forward with this trade. I really like gold moving forward now that I look at it, Luch. I think you're good to hold that. She looks like she's going to start trying to make that push to the upside. Again, we want to keep in mind the previous trend. One of the things I like to do is I highlight the previous trend before the breakout to the downside. So when the market's coming back up to reverse, you know, failure to break that trend is just another signal for continuation to the downside. So just something to keep your eye out on for that. Let's see, who else told me to look at something? Let's see. Someone told me EJ, Euro JPY. Same thing, gapped. Man, EJ must have, I mean, JPY definitely was the affected currency out of that tariff news, huh, Luch?
Yeah.
This is. He broke that zone, man. They looking like they're gonna go start. They hit the previous low 12 or 1, 2, 3, 3, 6, 8. Failure to break this zone here. We could definitely see. I need to change these colors. This is when I had the dark screen. For some of you guys, something to add on to this chart too. You know, for some of you guys learning the Elliott wave, in this trade right here, I predicted Euro JPY quite some time ago. Let's see. This was on February 7th. On February 7th, I had predicted that, you know, Euro JPY was going to go up from 124 to like the 126 area. It was like almost 127. And, you know, I had drawn out the fact that the market made this is flash crash to the downside. And then on the retracement, I noticed that the market was creating, you know, higher low points. So once I identified the higher low points, I figured, okay, we got some higher lows here. We're gonna have some higher highs. So what I ended up doing was I drew out my zones, right? I understood that the fact that the market retested this price right here before she shot up and broke down, I knew that the market had to come back and retest that price in this case right here. So when I was drawing out my Elliott waves, I figured, all right, I'm going to go with this trend, paying attention to my zone. So we have one zone up here, one zone up here. Just going off of what the market gave me in the past, right? We had the market come down. After breaking this zone here, she came back, retested it, and dropped. The market never came back to retest any price here. Right before she continued dropping, she accumulated a bit here. But for this time frame that we're looking at, which was the 4-hour chart, the market never came back to retest. So on the retracement, I knew, all right, me waiting for a retest of a breakout, right? Here's the breakout, here's the retest. Those would be my optimal buy entries. So when using the Elliott wave on an uptrend on an ascending channel, you know, 2 and 4 will always be your best entries to buy. 1, 3, and 5, they consider them like you can consider them your take profits or your price reversal zone. So, you know, if I entered my trade here at this price at where the second wave of the Elliott wave was, I would have considered taking profit at number 3, right? Or partial profits. And then as the market came back to retrace, so when you look at what the market did, I predicted that the market was going to bounce off the trend line here and shoot up to this zone here. So just so you guys can watch, after the market bounced off the zone, she failed to break the zone here, came back for one more touch of the support, and then broke up to the upside. So as you guys can see here, this was a perfectly executed trade. I entered that trade, got out of it, and once I saw failure to break the zone. When she came back, I noticed she did not create a lower low. If anything, she just gave us a low point here. I bought again and hit my initial take profit. So these are good exercises. Like I said, it's not about how you can master one of these. It's just really when it presents itself and how well you can make the adjustment to use these tools. You know, that's why I like using a system of confluence to simply just generate everything and give me confidence in a trade. So like if I'm willing to enter a trade on a $3 lot, a $4 lot, whatever amount of lot I want to enter, the more confidence I have in the market moving in that direction, the less stress that this trade would cause me, and the less I have to spend just kind of like checking on the trade every so often. Like this becomes like a set it and forget it type of trade, you know? And it's very important for you guys moving forward. You know, you guys understand your zones. You guys understand your Fibonacci's, using Fibonacci's to identify possible retracement areas. You understand Elliott wave. We went over that the other day. You know, I want you guys consistently applying all of this because I promise you, if you notice, look, when the market hit our 5th wave, we needed a correction to the downside, right? So the market came back, retested that same support. Guess what? Once you saw that the market didn't create a lower low, it just created another low, guess what? There's another buy opportunity. I would have bought from here to the retest of the fake out up here, which the market never broke out of this zone. So when the market was coming back up, I knew that retesting that zone right there was key. So we entered the trade, bought up to here, closed it. Now we had 2 decisions. I can either just let the trade do its thing or now prepare myself for a downturn, right? So here's the market moving on the downside. We had almost about, this was February 14th to March 1st. So about 16 days for this trade to play out. Then you had from March 1st all the way till March 7th. Like in total, a good like almost 2,500 pips just off of EJ in the span of from April 14th all the way till March 22nd. It's a lot of pips just focusing on one pair. Let's see, dude. Paul, you got any questions, Paul? If anybody has any questions, Paul, Janelle.
Can you hear me? Yo.
Yeah, you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Nah, man, I'm understanding this, man. To be honest.
Mind blowing how it all starts to click little by little, right?
Yeah. I'm following right now.
Perfect. Let's see. How about you, Luke? You good?
Yeah, I'm looking at GJ again on the higher trend weekly.
Let's look at that. Yeah, bro. Remember when I was in Florida, we were looking at GJ and I said that we wanted it to come down to the zone to then look for buys?
Yeah.
That strong engulfing candle from last week, whatever happens this week is going to dictate. So now if this candle engulfs the previous candle, they call it the I was reading this book and the guy calls it the hot dog pattern. The hot dog pattern on a key supply area, continuations to the upside. Let's see. I like it for buys. I think the best price to buy GJ is 144.675 around there.
Do you think this is a test of resistance now? I mean support? Because it broke out of that channel? Yeah, exactly.
Yep. She definitely is. She's respecting this trend here though. I definitely want to see her come back down and retest this zone right here. It's not that far away. It's like 40 pips away. Makes sense that why the gaps happen though. Like for most people, here's a rising wedge. Rising wedge. So when the market closed at this price here, it failed to create a higher high. And when the market opened up here, it literally opened up on the previous, right at the price where the candle broke to the downside over here. Let's see. NZD USD. She's still down there, huh? I want to see it break this channel and start going up. Man, did every pair gap today or something?
Almost.
Let's see. GU, what's GU doing? Well, GU's going for it. GU's going for the breakout. It has to break this price here, though. You see? Can you see that? Chart. Let me see a break right around here. For it to continue going down. AJ's moving nicely. GA's moving right. GCAD's moving. Let's look at US 30. US 30 is respecting that double bottom. We need her to break this price here if she wants to go up. Can you see this inverted?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's respecting it like a mother. I'm gonna look at XRP too. Oh, she broke it. She broke it. Now we need to see it break. For those of you that are wondering why I highlight these small little zones, I'm just paying attention to the wicks of these candles. In crypto, if you notice, before she makes her move with cryptocurrency, it seems like they really try to stop you out of your trades. Like this trade was going towards the upside, and before she tried to make a higher high, she came back down and retested the zone and broke out. Then she shot up, came down, consolidated a little bit, then shot up, created the higher high. Notice right here, after the higher high was created, right, the market never created a higher high after that. All it did was just retest the fake out move towards the upside. So when the market came to retest that, here's the push down, right? Boom, the market made its move. After the move was made, this is 774 pips in 4 hours. The market came back up. People thought, okay, now we're good. But what they weren't paying attention to, again, look at the key level right here, right where the wicks are, right where the wicks to the body. Let me zoom in. How do we buy crypto? Do you need a special account? To buy cryptocurrency, you mean like buy it as like to hold it as an actual crypto, or trade it on MT4? Because there's two ways you can trade crypto. You can trade it based off of how we trade Forex. Yeah, so to trade Forex, I would recommend using Hugo's way. I know on yours, on your account, they offer a different price. But pay attention from here to here. If we go off the body of the candle, right where the tweezer top occurred right here, on the body of the candle, notice how the market faked out here, retested, then made its move up, failed to create a higher high, came back, retested the zone, created the higher high, right? Then the market came back, faked out of the zone, retested the bottom of the zone here, touched the high up here again, did not create a higher high. In this case, it started forming our lower high. Right, so we have 1, 2, 3 touches to the trend here. The market never approached those highs. She shot down, came back up, faked out to make it look like they were going to go back up again. Came back down, shot down, held around the bottom of the zone for a little bit. Then she created, look at it. Another zone right here. So as we can see, If I look left, how do I confirm that? Let me just grab my horizontal line. Boom. Boom. Where can we confirm this 2 price right here? Here's a price retest up here. Here's the market consolidating under it here. Here's the price attacking that same price a few times up here. I can just put my zone right here. Now I have clear confirmation as to why the market, when the market came for it one more time, it faked out to the downside, came up. Notice what happened, respected our zone right here on a higher time frame. She consolidated under that zone for a little bit, broke to the downside, retested, now made its move. What are we looking for? We're looking for that one little spike. We're looking for that one little spike to retest the zone to where we can finally enter our trade on the downside, looking for further going down. I was looking at XRP. I like XRP sells to the base of this price right here. Which is why I was telling Lewis earlier, I really didn't like XRP buys at the moment. Remember earlier, Lucho, we were talking about XRP buys?
Yeah.
And this is mainly why. I noticed that the price faked out right here. So in order for it to continue going down, she retested the zone in here. But now we want to see the retest under the zone. Let's see, Jose Furman, you understand this?
I kind of missed it just a little bit, but I'm gonna rewatch the recording because I was moving around.
No problem. Let's see. Glory. Oh, Salah Meli's with us. How you doing, Salah? I didn't see you. So you want to write these down so we can attack them tomorrow, Lucho? What time you gonna come over?
That's up to you.
I get home like at 8:30, so.
I'll be there.
So we're looking for potential AUD JPY buys. It's about 78 pips to the upside to fill in the gap. Ripple sells. I like Ripple sells at 31.4. If it breaks this zone here, I won't be surprised to see the manipulation push to the upside and then make its move down. Which also confirms the retest of this trend we have here. GBP CAD, man, it looks good.
Yo, I want you to look at the monthly and look at it's at a super high level, at a super high range. I think this thing's gonna tank.
And we've been waiting on GBP CAD for a while. Arthur in Michigan, this guy loves GCAD. That guy gets frustrated with it because he'll catch it to the downside and then she'll whiplash on him.
Look at it. Last month it was in the range. This month, the month before that. And even if you go further back a couple of months, when it gets to this level, it reacts, man.
Key price zone.
And then when you come down to the smaller time frames, like she's already making the curve down. But she's stopping. She stopped at this level over here.
Right at the 50.
No, but she stopped. She stopped at the at 76,813 level, and I think she's gonna come test the high again.
I still think she got some more movement down, but she is respecting that support right there. I see it. Right where she got.
Yeah, exactly.
What caught your attention on it? Just the fact that it was overbought?
Yeah, that was the first thing. Then I started looking at the high time frames, and it looks like a zone where something's gonna happen.
Did you throw your moving average on it?
Yeah, I have a thing. What I have, 821.
You know, I've been testing out the 8 and the 21. I like it. I like it better than the 8 and the 12, actually. The 12's a little too tight for me. That's what she said. Sorry, Janelle. Look at that. She's curving right over the 50 on the 15-minute. You say you 769 you think is gonna come back to test? I think she's gonna try to come back and test that there's two little things right here. Where's Gloria? Gloria, you here?
Yo,
Gloria,
this
are you looking at GCAD too? Yeah, this looks good, bro. If it can break this zone, man, I'd love to see it try to fill this wick right here.
yo, that 4 hour is gonna close in 16 minutes, and it's engulfing the shit out of it.
Yeah, that'd be nice. You
So
re-enter?
GCAT looking good for sales.
Not yet.
Not yet, not yet. We're hinting, we're liking it for it, but
The clear confirmation, Jose. You remember the bearish engulfing candle, right? Furman.
Yes.
Remember the bearish engulfing candle. So if this 4-hour candle closes the way it is, it would engulf the previous candle, meaning that
Right.
that the market is prepared to make its next move to the downside for the next 4 hours. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So if we have 15 minutes left, so we can go down to the 15-minute chart and pay attention to how these candles close. So if we're going to sell this trade, right? What we're waiting for here is just the break of the zone, right? We'll probably see like a push to this support area right here. You see how price is consolidating a lot here?
Yeah.
The important thing to keep an eye out for here would be for the market to reject that price and retest, or create an engulfing candle that breaks both of these zones, so that the market then can either retest around here to this price point, or validating that the zone is actually much bigger than what we're paying attention to right now. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So if it does this, then we would also have we would have a head and shoulders in play to the downside. Which, if that's the case, if we get a head and shoulders, we have potential of reaching somewhere around here, which is a mother load of pips for my man Lucho.
I'm not in it yet. I'm gonna get in after. I'm gonna watch it on the 15-minute for a little while.
See what this 1 o'clock London opening is. That's the important part. But you know, Jose, one of the things I want you paying attention to is, okay, London session opens up at 1 o'clock in the morning, U.S. Eastern Standard Time, but the liquidity from that market doesn't usually kick in till like 2:30. Just like in the U.S. session, when you're trading, you know, from 7, 8. What time U.S. session opens at 8? their liquidity and what I mean by liquidity is like the actual movements of the market kicking in, like the bankers are starting to trade. The investors are now putting in their orders, and that's creating movement in the market. That usually doesn't occur till like around 9:30ish, around there. You usually see the spike in the movement around 9:30 for the U.S. session. Just like at 5 o'clock when the market closes, you usually see movement kick in around 8 o'clock. You know, so these are just important times to keep in mind that if you're like waiting for a trade to set up, remember, it doesn't beat you. Let me ask you this. Is it worth entering the trade here, knowing that there's upside here? Or would you wait for the breakout, knowing that the upside potential on this sell that you're looking at is a lot less than where it's at now?
Yeah, I'd rather wait for the retest so the drag doesn't kill me.
Correct. So your job is, obviously we're on the 15-minute chart. It's only about a 10 pip difference. But, on a $5 lot, 10 pips, that's $500. On a dollar lot, that's $100. You optimizing your entry to a point where while you're waiting for this trade to develop, you can just find your confirmations looking for that. So let's say we went from this break to the touch up here, the high. Well, the market right now is trending amongst the 50% line of the Fibonacci. So in order for it to continue going down, we need to see a break, right? And a retest. Make sense? That's why I had drawn out this potential zone right around here, because of the fact that, the bodies of these candles and the wicks and all this are lining up where this price is consolidating. So as you can see right now, this candle's starting to develop, and it looks like she's starting to engulf. We could jump the gun and enter the trade, but that right there is putting ourselves at a potential. One of the things when I used to call out trades is I would have my confirmations, but I'll jump the gun because I would say, okay, by the time everybody sees the alert, the move will probably be done. So then I would enter the trade, but guess what will happen? By the time I enter the trade, the 15-minute candle will close, and then the next candle opens up engulfing the previous candle, and it starts going up to the opposite side. So like a trade like GBP, USD, or GBP CAD, one slight movement to the upside can be a big difference, because the GBP pairs, I'm not sure if you guys remember, I had put out in the chat on the PDFs, we have the pip lot cost. So if you're looking at a trade and you wanted to identify what each pip per lot you're using is costing you. So like a trade like Euro GBP, Euro GBP on a 1 cent is paying you 15 cents. On a dollar lot, it's paying you $15 per pip, as opposed to a trade like, AUD NZD that's paying you $6.40 per pip.
I didn't know that.
On a standard lot. So, this is why on a pair like GBP AUD, I know that she's paying a lot lower on the cent or the dollar, but she's giving us more pips compared to a trade like GBP NZD that likes to consolidate a lot. So one of the pairs that pays the highest, Euro CHF, she pays high, but they're high consolidating pairs. They take days for them to build up their momentum. So this is on the chat for you to look at.
Yeah, I was reading the PDF from the candle, the Japanese candle Bible.
Yeah, that's good, man. That book is where I learned a long time ago about like where I started letting go of the resistance and support trading. Like I would keep in mind those areas, but I also started identifying more supply and demand just for that case. Then I got into identifying, accumulation and distribution. And then I kind of laid off of the supply and demand for a little bit. But again, it's all about making the adjustment. That's really the important thing. Let's see. looks like it's just gonna be me and you today, Luch. Like this. Let's see, Janelle, you have any questions or any? I know you had some questions. Let's, if you want to go over them now, I'm more than welcome to answer any questions you have. Perfect. Is everything I'm saying making sense to you? Is it helping you? Helping you out with the perspective of what what you're looking for and how you're attacking the markets?
Professionals struggle predicting the market. Don't even worry about that.
Janelle's the type where today she's like, oh, I'm having trouble with my trades, and then this week she'll pop up, yeah, I made $7,000 this week. I'm like, holy shit. Where's the next trip to, Janelle? Africa in August. Enjoy the safari. Let's look at Bitcoin.
Yeah, GU, we're writing it down. GU also.
Yeah, GU broke the zone.
I'm off of it right now because I'm stalking price on GCAD and on gold.
Almost there. 20 pips away.
What you want to test and down?
I want to see a strong push down. I mean, we did break the price we wanted.
I'm mad stoked on GCAD and on gold today though. I ain't gonna lie.
GCAD is looking good, bro. I'm tempted to jump the gun. He still got some way to go though. If you look at the 1 minute.
Yeah. I know. Tell me I'm stalking it right now. She might call the cops.
I'm gonna pause the recording for now. So I can upload it.